Hello, everybody, and welcome to another show of Toffee Blue Cash. We are here live on X and on YouTube. You can comment on X and it will still come over to YouTube. We pay to have that, so you can interact with us still from X if you haven't got YouTube. And if you want to comment on YouTube, we've got a lot of regulars in the comments. Do get involved. Hit that subscribe. I'll say it early if you can. Help support the channel. We're on 6,000 subscribers. We want to get to 7. And we've got a cracking pre-match lined up for you. Me and Paul always host the show together. And we have got the Ipswich fan back on that we had on last time, Rich, who's cracking, which I will introduce him in a second. Paul, how you doing? You all right?
Yeah, not bad. Mr. Blues. Not long to go now. Our last 3 o'clock kickoff tomorrow. Or at least people get to buy their seats for 100 quid. So, swings and roundabouts.
Costing a bomb now, isn't it? Everyone just wants to be there and wants to go.
Still do it though.
Sad times.
Still do it.
Sad times. We are going to get into it. We're going to get him straight on. Here he is. So what have we got from him? We'll try this song, see if it's decent for an introduction.
Good evening, boys.
How are we doing, Rich? You all right?
Yeah, I'm good. How are you two? All right?
All good, buddy.
All good. All good and ready for a big show, big pre-match
show. Are you all misty-eyed? Are you all misty-eyed with 2 games to go, boys?
Yeah. It's going to get worse and worse. It's going to get worse and worse. There's not many old stadiums left.
100%. I'm looking forward to coming tomorrow. I'm coming up, so looking forward to it.
Oh, it'd be good.
It's getting it. Tomorrow, the 18. There was just did that on the video. Tomorrow, the 1878s. They're doing a big display tomorrow, but not doing the display on the last game. So I think tomorrow could be even better than the actual last game at Goodison Park, because the people that do the displays basically, they're doing it tomorrow because they don't want to do the display because it's a lot of hard work and they just want to enjoy it themselves the last game. So tomorrow is going to be epic. It's going to be a massive one. And I'm looking for. You don't want this is what I was thinking. I don't know what you want to say on this, Paul. When you do a big display and you want to make a cracking thing at Goodison Park, it just kills it if you lose. I think personally. It doesn't feel as good if you lose. So I think when you want something to go so well, like this big second from last game finish at Goodison Park, to really enjoy it, you've got to beat Ipswich. So I feel we've added a bit. We've got to try and beat Ipswich to make it perfect.
You'll have no problems with that, boys. I'll tell you.
Well, last time we played you, it wasn't easy. It wasn't easy, was it? I think that I'm scared of this game a little bit. I'll be honest with you. We'll go straight into it now. We'll get into it. I don't know why, Paul. How do you feel on this? Because I know he's just said that we should beat Ipswich, but I don't feel like that. Like we probably should, but I'm scared of this team.
Well, we should have beat Southampton earlier on in the season and in the League Cup as well, and we didn't do either. So that's very much us. That's Everton all over, really, to get draws against the top 2 in the league. And get the odd win against one of the better sides, and then balls it all up against people who have been relegated already. So we'll have to see. I hope, because a lot of people are playing for contracts, and there's obviously a few people coming back from injury, and you seem to have a really long injury list at the moment. So we'll see. We'll see if all that benefits us on the day. I really hope it does.
Yeah, we've got a massive injury list. That's probably one of. Look, there's a lot of reasons why we've struggled, but I think when you come up from the Championship like a promoted team, you need to have you need to have luck, and I think 2, you need to have a pretty healthy squad, and we've really struggled all season. I think we've got 10 out tomorrow, injured. I think we've got a couple of suspensions. So it's just getting a fit 11 Paul on the pitch tomorrow will be the first thing we do.
Well, I'll tell you what. I'll throw that up now, just while we're on the subject. These are the players who, according to Flash Scores anyway, are out or questionable. So I know we know from Moyes' press conference that Dominic Calvert-Lewin is possibly going to be on the bench, but he doesn't expect him to play. But he might get minutes, but he doesn't want to say no, but he doesn't want to say yes. So that's where we are at the moment. And we already knew about the other three lads who were on there, including Tarkowski, that we haven't got. Everyone else is pretty much back to normal. But when you look at your lads, and you look Schmodix and, even Broadhead, I suppose, and, who are your best ones that you've lost there?
Well, look, if you look at Smodix, come from Blackburn, he's done all right. Look, I think we spoke before when I was on about Calvin Phillips, because I think you were linked with him.
Yeah,
he's just had such a stop-start season. He'd play well for 2 or 3 games, then he'd pick up an injury. He picked up a red card against Leicester, and he's never really been able to get a sort of run of form going. Look, I think that's probably one of the main reasons, Paul, why he probably come to Ipswich, because he struggled at West Ham, didn't he, when he was there, with fitness and form. And I think it'll be interesting to see where he goes sort of in the summer, because obviously I think he's still got 3 years left on his contract at City. So someone will probably take a gamble on him, but he's not the player he was. He's nowhere near the player he was. And he's probably our marquee signing, and that's probably, that probably says it all.
Yeah, no, that's fair enough. There's loads. I mean, Paul is saying we wanted that. How'd you say, Philogene?
Philogene.
Yeah, I mean, he had a great highlights reel, didn't he?
Yeah, but he's another one. He came in. Look, he's not really. We signed him in January, and people are saying, "Oh, he's crap. He's a waste of money." He's played a handful of games. I don't think you can really judge these players. Look, I know when you sign someone in January, you're struggling. You want them to hit the ground running, but I think it don't always work out like that, does it? In football, sometimes some players can come in and they're straight off and they'll find a run of form, and others might take a few games or a few months. And we weren't really in that position. We needed players to come in and sort of help us out. But it's been a real struggle for us this season. We've only won 4 games. 3 of them are away from home. So, yeah, look, we'll come tomorrow. We're already down. We've got nothing to lose. It's a free hit for us. So, you never know.
What went wrong for you?
Like, on me saying about form.
I was just going to chuck on him. I was just going to chuck on him. Like, what do you feel went wrong? Because I looked at Ipswich and he was competing against us with a couple of players to sign us, and some teams come up. I think Southampton, and you could tell they was going to go back down because they didn't really put an effort into stay up in the transfer window. I do feel that you put quite a bit of effort into the transfer window on the players that you got. You spent quite a bit of money. So first of all, what do you think went wrong? And second of all, what's going to happen with the players? Because you have brought a lot of players in when you go down.
Look, we spent 140 million, which it's a drop in the ocean, I know, in like today's market. But for a club like us, who for years we relied on free transfers and loans, it's a big outlay. But I think when you look at the players that we've signed, a lot of them come from the Championship. Most of them did. I think Ben Johnson was obviously at West Ham. He was a free transfer. You got Phillips was on loan, but a lot of them, they're top end Championship players, and that's probably, is it a mistake? Some people might say you need Premier League quality in your team and you need experience, but I think that's easy to say because we're behind. When I look at the whole of the Premier League, even Leicester and Southampton, they've been in the Premier League for years. We ain't been there for over 20 years. So when we're looking at our transfers, we're at the bottom of the market, So I think what they've done, they've gone for these young players, taking a little bit of a gamble, thinking, they might be okay, but if we go to the Championship, they'll be okay. I think we'll have a really good side next year. But then we come on to like what happens in the summer. We're going to lose a few because that's just what happens, isn't it? When a team gets relegated, you get your team probably picked apart. And I know a lot of people say, but who's going to want these players? They've got 21 points, but there's still some decent players in our squad. Look, Delap being the main one. It's going to be a bit of a bum fight where he goes. It's an interesting one because I think it's well sort of documented now. I think it's 30 million, his relegation clause, which we're all a little bit disappointed in because we thought we might get 45, 50 million for him. But I think that's another thing. When we were trying to sign him in the summer, he's at Man City. We're dealing with Man City. This is Ipswich, who have been in the wilderness for years. So we can't really go calling the shots saying, we want this, we want this. Dave could have said, we'll give him to you on loan. So we're going to make some money on him. But I think the main thing we need to do is keep hold of our manager. Because I still think I was see Moyes' comments today on Kieran, and he was quite glowing in sort of what he thought of him and what he's done. But I think that's our main thing in the summer, to keep him. I think he won't go anywhere. I don't see... Last summer, there was a few clubs after McKenna. I don't see him going anywhere this summer, and I don't really think he should go back to the Championship. If he can get another promotion on his CV, and then we come back again, and then hopefully next time we might be a little bit more prepared. But I think one of the main things, guys, that I've recognised, when we played you back in October, we were pretty sort of level on points then, weren't we? And I know we spoke on the show and you were quite downcast, but I looked at that game and I look at all the games we played, the physicality of players, the athleticism of players. These teams are streets ahead of us at this minute in time. That's one thing that we've really, really struggled with. I think we've played quite well in games, but we've never been able to sustain it on a whole 90 minutes. And that's why we've only won 4 games. And I think we've 27 points we've dropped from leading. You could say that's down to not having Premier League experience in your team, but there's a multitude of reasons why we're going to go back to the Championship. And at the end of the day, the 3 worst teams always go down, and we're in the 3 worst teams. We're probably the best of the 3 that have gone down, and I think we'll probably be in the best position to come back up. But there's no guarantees because that's football, isn't it? I know we're going to parachute money, but you've got Birmingham coming up from League One. They're going to be heavily backed by the Americans. Wrexham, I think they'll try and make a big noise. So it's going to be tough. But yeah, I think we'll enjoy it more next season because it's hard when you go in, week out to watch your team and you're not winning. Everyone likes to go to football and see their team play well and win, don't they? So when you're not winning, it's not really enjoyable.
No, I get that. I mean, I kind of see you guys. Everyone was I think everyone was, or lots of people were looking at you and hoping you would do quite well because you're a footballing side. Those ilk of sides where they've been footballing sides, building up from the back, and then 1 or 2 bright sparks like Delap or Schmodics or people like that. And what usually sort of lets teams like that down is how strong they are at the back. And you sort of remind me in some ways of Burnley with Company as manager, because it was almost relentless. We're not going to change anything about the way we play. It doesn't matter if we lose the ball at the back however many times. You know what I mean? We're going to play that way. And I think you've got the capability to be far better than Burnley ever were, to be honest, in the league. But it's just getting over that hurdle, isn't it? And just having maybe the style at being at the centre-back position rather than being somewhere else in the side, and that would really be the thing to keep you up. But
yeah, I think a lot of it is we played quite well early on in the season. We drew at home to Villa. There was Fulham, Man United. There's several of them games we played quite well early on, and I think that's where, because as supporters, it's shiny and new because we've not been here. You're enjoying going. You're thinking, yeah, this is good. But I think you need to get some wins on the board early as a promoted team, because if you don't, I think it soon becomes hard work, when you're losing. And there's several games this season we played well in, but we'd always find a way to make a mistake, give a goal away. And you're quite right there. I think if you look at all the teams who are getting relegated, they're all going to concede over 80 goals, and we all know football. Anyone knows football. If you can't keep the ball out your net,
yeah,
you ain't going anywhere, are you, really?
Exactly. Well, let's just so I'm going to throw your form on. So we'll have a look at how you guys have been doing over sort of the last 10-ish games or something like that. And that's where we are. There's a lot of Reds. There's a highlight there, which was a cracking away win against Bournemouth, and a decent point away against Chelsea as well.
Yeah, but you look there. Look, Man United. The game before that, there's 2 games before that. We played Southampton, which was a home game. Now, Southampton have got what, 11 points? They've taken 4 off of us. So if you can't beat the worst team in the division, we lost to them at home. We lost to them at home 2-1. Then we went to United on a midweek game, who Man United are awful, and we all know that. And we somehow had 11 against 10 for over 50 minutes, and we still couldn't beat them. And we've never really, it's obvious when you've only won 4 games, we've had at no time we've been able to get any momentum. Like, we ain't won back-to-back games. We'll play well in a game like Aston Villa after Christmas. We went there, we had 10 men, we got a point, really good. And then you're playing, I think, Spurs, Man United, the next 2, and went and lost both of them games. So, yeah, look, Bournemouth was a good away performance, but then we went and played Wolves on the Saturday, and Wolves I think they were 9 points ahead of us at the time, and that was another must-win game. We didn't win that, and then you just look at Wolves now, the form that they've gone on, and we've just gone the other way. Chelsea is a really good away day, and we are capable of it, but it's not been sustained through any length of games, and that's why we've only got 21 points. That's as simple as that. Bit doom and gloom, isn't it, really?
Well, it will be. So we feel for you. Thankfully, we've managed to keep ourselves out of it. So
I was just going to say, though, I don't think the reason I asked you about whether you'll keep on to your players, when you come up, as you just mentioned, you haven't got that Premier League experience as some of your players to just have the know-how how to just build consistency of winning games. That's what you need to, because we did it. Moyes come in, Moyes gave us that experience as well. That's the big thing as well. Your manager knowing how to handle the Premier League, and we had a couple of players, Garner Gay, Tarkowski, whether McNeil, they've been in the Premier League for a long time, and they're just used to being able to stay in it. Your players, a lot of them have come up. Smodics, you brought a centre back. I can't remember his name that we wanted as well.
Jacob Greaves, Greaves.
Yeah. Well, these are all players that was the top players in the Championship that probably will be good players, but have been chucked probably in the deep end of just going in the Premier League. I think if those players was gelled with a few experienced Premier League players, you would have had a really good team. That's probably what disappoints you. I think if you put Greaves with someone like Tarkowski at the side of him, that'd probably be a good centre-back partnership. The same with Smodics as well. I honestly would have had him at Everton. I think if you put him around some experienced attackers, you probably would have got more out of him. So I do think that you could have done with more experience. But if you keep these players that was the best in the Championship when you come up, I'm interested to see whether they'll be the best in the Championship still when you go down, if you get where I'm coming from, because you could come straight back up. So I don't think it's that doom and gloom if you can get straight back in the Premier League and probably have a better go at this time with the experience of what you got wrong.
Yeah, look, I do agree with you about maybe getting some experienced players, but it's like I was just saying there earlier, it costs money, doesn't it, to get, say, a Tarkowski. He's not going to probably, them type of players, are they going to look at a team like Ipswich and think, I don't really want to go there? They're going to be in a relegation fight. So, look, if we go down, hopefully it's a positive season. We're winning games, but we do need to learn that if we come back next time, you've got to try and learn from even McKenna. He's made mistakes this season. He's still a young coach. He's like 3.5 years into his coaching career. So it's hard. But I just think that gap gets bigger. You look at the last 2 seasons, the 3 promoted teams have gone straight back down. I think this time it's the first time that all 3 have gone down. There's still 4 games to go. I don't think that's happened before. So it's. I just think that gulf gets bigger though, because you're just going to have the other 17 teams. They're going to move further away. And if you look, the teams that are coming up, can you realistically see Burnley surviving? I know Scott Parker, he's done really well there. I think they conceded 15 goals in the Championship, right? which is great. But we all know that they're not going to do that in the Premier League, and it's going to be really hard for them. Even Leeds United, Leeds are a massive club, but their team now is probably not as good as it was last season when we come up. They lost. I think Rutter went to Brighton. Somerville went to West Ham, and Archie Gray went to Spurs. So it took them 2 years to get out, and I'll be really interested to see how Leeds get on, because you can be a big club, but you can only spend so much money. That's the thing. You can only spend so much money, and Leeds United will have a bit of probably a bigger pool than whoever comes up. Like, I don't know if it's say a Bristol City come up, guys, in the playoffs. They get absolutely murdered. They'd just be there for. But then you could say, well, hang on, the same's happened to us. Same's happened to Leicester and Southampton. And I look at a team like Southampton, and I shake my head and think, why did you ever sack Russell Martin? Because were you ever going to get a better manager in who was going to make you any better and keep you up? Well, no, because you've got 11 points. So why don't you just stick with your manager that Then you go back to the Championship. He's got you out of there once already. So at least we stuck with McKenna. I think he did have a little bit of a free hit this season, coming from where we've come from, League One, Championship. And I don't think he was ever going to get sacked, if I'm being honest. I think we could have probably nearly lost every single game.
I was going to say, I love it. I love it when a team like unexpected comes up. I love the season that Blackpool came up. It was that Holloway who was their manager as well, which was just fantastic because he was just completely gung-ho and he had some cracking games. I think our game at Goodison against Blackpool was 5-3. So it's that kind of thing. Sometimes it's good to actually just go at it and try and be exciting and score as many as you can. But you do need a little bit of a backbone. Otherwise, you are going to come unstuck. So.
No, I completely agree with you. I'd like interested in what you said though. Now I put a tweet up to say, because you said basically the teams that are coming up are standing less of a chance, and the teams above are getting stronger, and there's a gap where it feels like probably that the three that are coming up are always going to go back down now because the gap's getting that big, because the teams above are getting stronger. You look at Bournemouth, you look at Fulham, they're all getting really strong. It's going to have to be a way that the teams that come up do it. Maybe it's going to be they've got to bring in young talent and keep the young talent. That's probably the only way you can do it, isn't it? To actually come up with some really young players.
I suppose Forest were a little bit different because they overspent, didn't they? I think when they came up, they signed something like 22 players, and I think they might have took a little bit of a calculated gamble. Look, if they'd have gone down, it could have been disaster, but they took the points deduction. They managed to stay in, didn't they, that first season? And then I think if you can stay in that first season, it gives you a little bit of hope to move on from them. And look at Forest this season. They're probably going to miss out on the... what is happening with that door? That door was just literally opening on its own, wasn't it?
It's all spooky around here. No explanation.
But yeah, look, it might be you have to take a gamble and spend a little bit more. I don't really know what the answer is, but it's not really good, is it, when your team's coming up from the league below go straight back down? You need some teams to survive. But
yeah,
West Ham are probably going to be 17th, but they're going to get 40 points. How's a team that are promoted ever going to get that many?
Yeah, it's a long shot. It's
getting more competitive though, because I do believe that it's going to be where the Premier League's that competitive that some big boy owners like the Nottingham Forest one that's going to be the only way into it, that a big boy owner comes in and just blows loads of money to stay in the Premier League. That's the only way to do it, and I think that's the way you've got to do it. But you did come up though, and I think you can come up again. Paul, have you got our forms chuck on the screen? What have we got?
I have got our forms on the screen.
Shit.
Well, the two defeats, but you're talking City in a way, Chelsea, and it was frustrating. The Chelsea game felt frustrating because maybe we should have got more out of it. I mean, I don't particularly think it was a nailed-on penalty against Mykolenko. I understand why people would think it is. I'd probably go with it coming together. I can understand both sides, but we just didn't threaten enough with quality. That was our problem. But when you sort of think about now, one win, which was obviously away at Forest, sort of a last second thing. The last time we won before that was Palace, by the looks of it. So was Palace away.
We've got a lot. So, we've got a lot of draws in there, but we've done enough to stay up. It felt like the last two games, especially bloody Chelsea, it felt like we'd played like we had nothing to play for. We know we stayed up, and it was a bit disappointing, to be fair. I think when we wasn't mathematically safe, we was probably performing better because we wasn't mathematically safe. The Chelsea game was the first game where it was mathematically safe, and unfortunately, I think we played a little bit like that. Have you got the teams then? Let's have a look at the teams. Who are we going to come up against? What are we going to... Let's have a look.
Well, this is...
jumping on your team as well.
Yeah, this is a suggested, do you know what I mean? So there may well be one or two alterations and things like that. But as far as we're aware, that's could be the case. I suppose McNeil's got a chance of being in the side, but then you'd move in and die. Would you have McNeil on the right? Would you drop Harrison? It's a little bit like that at the moment. It'd be interesting to see if Patterson starts. I hope he does. Depends how much more he's likes Young, or if Coleman's going to get a game that isn't the last 10 minutes of the Southampton one, something like that. So that's where we are at the moment. But how do you feel about yours, Rich? That sort of lineup for your lads?
Yeah, Amari Hutchinson's been out. He was on the bench, I think, last Saturday at Newcastle, but I don't think, like McKenna said, he was just sort of filling a spot. So he might come in for Taylor there on the right, but that's probably other than that, guys, that's probably about as good as we could sort of muster because, like I said, we got so many players out. I think we had a couple of kids on the bench last week. We've struggled the last two games to keep 11 men on the pitch because we've had sendings off in both games. So if we could keep 11 on the pitch tomorrow, that it would be. I think we've had 5 red cards. I think we've had the most with Arsenal, I think, in the league this season. So that's another thing, Everything's checked, in it, in the Premier League with VAR, whereas in the Championship, you're getting away with some of these probably red cards that we've had. We might have been a bit more lucky, but that's another thing you have to learn when you come up here, and we've never had it before VAR. I know you guys you're used to it. You probably don't like it, which I don't, but you just got to be more street smart, because last Saturday we were doing quite well at Newcastle. We get a red card, and then the softest penalty you will ever see right on half time. I mean, but in Ciso, who give it away on Jacob Murphy, he's given the referee. I know he didn't give it to start with, and he went to the screen, but he's given him an opportunity, and you just can't get away with anything. I know it's frustrating, but you've literally got to play the game. And look, we'll go down next season. We won't have VAR, but if we come up again, that's another thing. You've got to get used to that it's there, and you might get some go for you, but it does seem a little bit. I don't want to be on here so hard done by Ipswich, but I do think the bigger clubs get the decisions. I know some. Yeah, I just think that's the way it is, But that's not a reason why we are where we are, because we haven't been good enough. But that is another thing that experience. You've got to have a bit of nous. You've got to think, oh yeah, in the Championship, I could get away with that tackle, or I could just hold someone in the box because it's not going to get checked. Where in the Premier League, everything's under the microscope, isn't it? And then, well, we see it week in, week out. VAR still doesn't get everything bang on, does it? Because it's still subjective, like refereeing is. But it's frustrating, VAR. I don't know what you guys think to it. I don't like it. I don't think it improves the game.
No, well, I don't think.
Paul, what you think on it?
I was just going to say, you can't win because everyone's been screwed over. When it comes I tell you what, though, when it comes to penalties, I did see a stat, and I don't know how accurate it was, to be honest. It said that Wolves had 8 penalties conceded, but hadn't got one this season. And that felt very much like us in previous seasons. I think Liverpool had won 9 penalties and conceded 1 or something like that. And you just think, I know you're in the box and everything else like that, but it didn't match up with what was going on, because you still had the likes of Arsenal who were quite lower down on this list. And you just think, when you look back at highlights and you think, oh, well, you should have had a red card, you should have been sent off, that's a dive. And whoever it is, it gets really frustrating. But generally, you do get the arse end of the stick if you are in the arse end of the league, to be honest. And that's generally what happens. It is generally the occurrence, to be honest. Just to sort of change the subject a touch. Your big man, Mr. Delap, like we were saying before, obviously lots of people interested. Talk of us being interested. Do you think he would be a good fit for us? Or, I mean, obviously he's a great fit for you. And if he does stay, that's great for you. But if he does come to us, have we done the right thing, or should we have looked elsewhere?
I think you'd love him. I just think he's been a breath of fresh air for us this season. He's got 12 goals, which in a team that's getting relegated, I think he's done really well. And if you look at a lot of them goals, he's created them himself. I think whoever gets him, I think he's going to be very, very lucky. Because I think
Rich, what happens if, say, I know you said it's a £40 million that you've got in for
30.
What happens
30,
if someone
only 30,
30?
Only
Sorry,
30. Yeah,
30. Sorry, but in my head, what happens if someone goes in for 40? Sorry, what happens if someone wants to pay more? Because he's got a £30 million release contract, right? But I feel people would pay more than that to get him. Can people pay more than that?
I don't know the ins and outs of it. I'm not sure, but you would have thought, wouldn't you? You would have thought if someone wanted him that bad. Well, we hope that's the case, because then we'll obviously make more money on him. Look, he's not. I know McKenna's spoken his couple of last press conferences about the possibility of him staying. I don't see it. I honestly don't see him playing for Town in the Championship. You think it's a World Cup year next year? Someone sooner or later, Harry Kane's not going on forever. You've got Watkins, who's 30, Solanke, who's bit in and out of Tottenham. He's probably the next one, Delap. So I think whoever gets him, you're going to be very lucky. And I think he needs to pick his club very carefully where he goes, because he needs to be playing to improve. Now, Chelsea are in for him, Man United. I hope he doesn't go to Chelsea. I honestly hope he doesn't go there, because you never know there. The manager, I just, and Everton, I think he'd be a great fit. New stadium. Calvert-Lewin's probably going to leave for you, so you're going to need a replacement. I just think whoever gets him, you're going to be lucky. He's an old-fashioned number 9 for me. He's the one player, when I said earlier about physicality and athleticism that we lack, he's the one player in our team that's got it for me. And he'll probably play tomorrow, and whoever plays centre-half, he'll give him a good battle. He likes the physicality, he likes to get stuck in, and he's still young, and it depends who gets him. He just needs to play. If he plays every week and he improves, I just think he's going to be, sky's the limit. But I don't think there's any real rush for him at the minute to go to like a top club, because he's 21, 22. So yeah, it might be he needs to take that step and then move to like one of the bigger clubs. But we've just enjoyed having him. We've got 4 more games. I mean, I'd like to see him get a couple free. If he finished on 15 goals, I think that'd be a really, really good finish for him. But there was a lot of our fans saying when we signed him, 15 million, I think rising to 20, it's a lot of money. He didn't do a lot of Hull. He had a couple of other loans. But McKenna's a good coach, and I think he's thrived working under him, and it's a shame it's only going to be for one season. But that's football.
Yeah. It's one of them. Before you knew he was going to come this good, you probably would have said 30 million was a decent price.
Exactly.
Him, but now,
totally agree.
Yeah, that's the thing, because you didn't know he was going to be this good. And to me, I think 30 million is a big price on a striker. And you'd think, 30 million if he turns good, you'd be really happy with that. It's just that he's turned out to be even better than good. And that makes you think that he should have gone higher. But at the time, you probably would have said, when you think Gyökeres went from Coventry for 22, so it was a good price tag, 30 million, I feel. It's just unlucky for you that he probably turned to one of the best, and he's probably worth 50, 60 million in the market. But you just got to say to yourself, you know what, 30 million is a lot for what you paid for him, and it's good business back into it. To go down and still have a player that's worth 30 million is pretty good, isn't it?
I think City got, I think it's 20%, but they get whatever, so they're going to get some. But yeah, I totally agree with you. Hindsight's brilliant, isn't it? We can all say we should have had this clause, we should have had that clause. We haven't, and you just got to take it on the chin. And it'd be interesting watching him how his career goes from us now to see where he goes, because a lot of players have a good season, then they sort of fade away. But I honestly don't think with him he will.
Yeah. When we got to Nathan Patterson, we thought Patterson was going to be got him from Rangers. When we first got excited about him, thought he's going to be one of the best right backs going, and he's declined, and he's probably worth about 5-10 million now. And we thought he'd be a 30-40 million right back. You just don't know. It's looking at we've had to live that kind of life where we have to take risks on players that could either be amazing or shit. It's just a risk. You have to do that when you haven't got much money, don't you? Like diamonds in the rough, but you don't know whether they're going to be diamonds. And like I say, he has turned into a diamond. Have you got in the comments, Paul, what any lineups, and then we'll jump on the score predictions?
I've got a couple. Luke's in. That's brilliant. Now 100 Tarkovskis or 1 Gorilla. Which is ace.
This has been doing the rounds, isn't it? We were talking to this.
It's mad, isn't it?
Where's it come from? Where's it come from?
I have no idea.
Because we were talking about if you had Mike Tyson, Paul, where would you put him? You wouldn't put him out early with a gorilla, would you? You'd have to have a few sacrificial lambs. Tire out. This is a Tyson when he was in his prime, not Tyson at the end.
Yeah, here's one for you. Then, right?
Interesting. He's cracking enough to have a go. That's the thing.
We're trying to blast through this show and actually make it a good one for time.
We're rubbish at doing that. I'm
blaming it on Rich because he's just brought the gorilla topic up even more. But if like the gorilla's coming at you, what would you do? What's your first move? Like honestly, now think about it in your head. The gorilla's coming at you, full whack, charging, pumped up. What would you do? What's your first move?
Well, you're meant to curl up in a ball, aren't you? Unless you want to get ripped to shreds. So, but I would you just run. You just fucking run. You'd have a go, Dan.
I'm thinking I'd take the gorilla on, but have they got like?
Could you poke him in the eye? Could you like go for the eyes?
Have they got penis and balls? Can you?
That's what I was thinking. You got to be dirty, ain't you?
Yeah, you've got to be dirty.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. You've got to go low, ain't you?
I was thinking give him one on the chin, but he's going to have a big chin. You can't punch him in the stomach because gorillas are ripped in the stomach. They punch themselves in the stomach all the time anyway, so they'll be solid in the stomach area. So I honestly think, I'm hoping he's got a big one, and I'm hoping that I can kick him in the balls. You know what I mean? A big pair of testicles. Other than that, I can't think of how I could beat him.
What? So when you kick him in, kick him in the nuts, and while he's down, you run like fuck out of there.
No, I think you've got to kick him in the nuts, and whilst he's down, I think you've got to, whilst he bends down, you've probably got to do like a Jean-Claude Van Damme and grab one of his eyes out of his head. So you've got to go for the eyes then, haven't you? Testicles, eyes, they're your two. So I'm going testicles first. He's going to bend down. I'm going to grab one of his eyes out, probably grab the other. If he comes back after that, I'm probably running beyond Mike Tyson.
There we go. Look, a gorilla can lift almost 1 ton. You tear your arms off.
Yeah. You'd feel good if you won there, wouldn't you? Proper like.
You've been working out though, Dan.
Well, you know, I've been playing a lot of pool just lately, and I can't say that's a workout playing pool, but yeah. I'm a tiger and a lion person, like me tigers and lions, so I don't like to think a gorilla could beat me. I think tigers and lions are the king of the jungle, so I don't know. It's an interesting one. Is that actually going to happen though? That's not real, is it? They ain't going to get the beast. Isn't going to actually get 100 people. You can't do that, surely.
Mr. Beast. Next episode, Mr. Beast. One gorilla, 100 blokes.
Yeah, but they're going to die. Yeah, but they're going to die, ain't they? So he wouldn't be able to do that.
Hey, some cheat TV channel would buy it. Some TV channel would buy that.
Smash it.
Honest to God. And then do it a different way every week. Different animal every week.
I just don't see how you can do that by legal
just,
stuff.
You know, where we live now.
What about brown bear?
Not really going to happen, though, is it?
Brown bears are quite tough, aren't they?
Bears are big, yeah.
Yeah, what about a bear versus a gorilla? Who would win out of that?
I
there was
100%.
There was a I can't believe we're still talking about this, by the way. But there was a program years ago, American program called Man versus Beast, and it wasn't on for very long. I've seen clips, and one of them was a running race. I think it was a guy against a giraffe or something ridiculous like that. It was, and then I don't think they actually had a fight, but that would just be the natural evolution of that show, I think. So anything could happen.
If you offered me 10 minutes in the water with a shark or 10 minutes to have a fight with a gorilla, I would definitely choose on my feet with a gorilla. Like, sharks are my biggest phobia. I wouldn't sharks, nah. If I'm in the water, I can't do much. I can hardly swim, to be fair. So I'd take a gorilla on. Definitely. Gorilla all day long. Just don't see how that's going to happen. And it can't happen, can it? It just can't happen.
You're going to think about it now, though.
Fight with a gorilla.
Do you want to see these lineups instead?
Yeah. I'm going to come off now after this show and have a look to see if it's actually going to happen. Because of you lot. Blame you lot. Taking off.
Get on the simulation.
Well, get some lineups on the screen, Paul, and then we'll get into the score prediction.
Eltel went with... I'm just seeing if he's... Oh, yeah. I mean, he's got Pickford and goal, Patterson... Right back, it seems, O'Brien, Branthwaite. I'm guessing he's missed out Mikalenko. I think he's one short there, is he? Or Young, left back. Could be anyone. Let us know, Eltel. Garner, middle diddle. And Die on the left. Is it?
How's the Chelsea lad got on the loan? Can't remember his name, the striker he signed.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we were after him. I'm glad we didn't get him.
Yeah, well, he's been injured a lot, and then when last few games when he's had a chance to start, it's not gone for him at all. So, but anyone who plays without running as much as Beto looks shite. You've got to run and run and run like a big battering ram. To be honest, that's what Beto does. So if you come on and have a beat up, if we don't do great, then you're not going to look as good as Beto.
With the way we play, Rich, when we get the ball up to the striker, doesn't get a lot of service basically. So the striker's got to either work hard to get the ball, or when we do get the ball to him, massively work hard to keep him. So if the striker's not giving maximum effort, we see it big time. And I think Brozier, he's been around and doesn't need to make a name. Where Beto, he'd do anything. He's come from working in bloody McDonald's to Everton. KFC, to Everton. So he understands it. He gets us. It's just a shame he hasn't got the technical ability that you probably need. But effort does get strikers somewhere, and it's got him in quite a few goals for us, which has been massive for Beto. So no, I don't think. Bro, yeah, he should have just put more. It just frustrates you, doesn't it, when a player doesn't put 100% in? We can't take that. Like, bro, the last couple of games, he had his chance and didn't put 100% in, so frustrated us with him. Didn't mean
pause. I'm not going to do all of... Oh, God. Yeah, Pickford, Highlander Patterson, Zar O'Brien, Prince Jared, Silence and Miko, Tim of Middle England, King Garner, Knight Dwight on the right, and Die on the left. Charlie in behind, Schmitty, and I did wonder about that, how much sort of support Schmitty would get this week. Doyley reckons Pickford, Patterson, O'Brien, Branthwaite, Mikalenko, as it was on there, Garner, and then drop James Garner for Alcaraz. Decore in behind, Schmitty with Harrison on the right and McNeil on the left, or vice versa. And that's what we've got at the moment. Oh, Nick's in. Nick's gone. Same back four. same middle as what we showed before, Garner. And then it looks like an interchangeable 3 in behind Schmidt with Neil, Alcaraz, and then I mean, I don't know about Schmidt, but they're the 3 I would play in those positions. Absolutely. I think we are strong enough defensively to be able to just let them go and roam free, to be honest. I really do. You can't play Decore and create enough opportunities and put away enough opportunities like you should be doing on a regular basis, particularly against teams who've been relegated. No offense, Rich.
I really wanted to see Patterson right back. I was crying out for him, thinking that he hasn't been given a chance and he's had a lot of injuries. You just want him to do well because he's actually a really nice lad, but he wasn't that good last game. I don't know whether I want Patterson right back anymore. You always believe that they can be better, don't you? And then you see him when you think, maybe I know why he wasn't getting played now. And that happened with Patterson a little bit last game. So I'd rather Coleman, and I can't believe I'm saying this, I haven't mind Ashley Young this season, so I'd rather Ashley Young get in there over Patterson. I think Patterson's done now. And that's harsh. I liked his chant, his football chant for Patterson. We had a really good song for him. I wanted to sing it every game. Yeah, if you're looking for a right back, we've got a Glaswegian, Nathan Patterson, somewhere running down the right wing, making all the blues sing. It's one of the best songs we've got, and he's not even playing. He's not good enough. Shame.
We started singing it. Then he got injured, and then Dyche wouldn't pick him after that.
Well, we need a couple of new songs, Paul. So if he would have turned good, that would have been perfect. But it's not. I wouldn't play him. No, I wouldn't. Is that all the lineups we've got? Are we ready for the big one?
We're ready to start thinking about actually what score. Guess yours now. Post it, everybody. Start thinking.
It is score prediction time, people. Oh, I don't know why I waved that. I was going to do something good. I didn't even know. But yeah, it's score prediction time, people. I know I'm a knobhead, but that's how it is. Right, here we go. Score prediction time.
Nobody would take on a gorilla.
I don't know what. Yeah, I'll take on a gorilla. Don't worry. Everyone wants that. You know, you want that dopey friend that's a bit of an idiot. But if you come up against some lads that are strong, then it'll be the gorilla taker, and that's me. Right. Here we go. My score prediction. I'm going to go in first. Then we're going to go Rich, and then we're going to go Paul. Get them in the comments, people. This is your favourite part of the show, the real head-to-head, where things get nasty. Right. I like some of the players that I actually like Ipswich. I wanted to stay up. Let me just say that, and I'm not even joking when I say that. I'm a bit gutted they didn't do it this season. I'm going to go 2-1. Delap will piss our centre backs off. You know, Delap. He can be dirty. He'll get into your centre backs. Branthwaite and O'Brien. You watch him bash into them tomorrow. Delap does that. I'm going to go 2-1 to Everton. Not an easy game. Don't like it. Their goal scorer, I think, will be Delap. I don't think. By the way, I didn't say anything, but I don't think we'll be able to get him. I think he'll want to go to a team that's doing better than us at this moment in time. Goals for us. Illiman and Jai needs to step up. He's been a bit crap, and I love him. So step up, please, because I always buzz off you when you play well. I think you're a goat. Illiman and Jai. And then I'm going to go for... I hope Alcaraz starts this game because I've heard big things that Everton want to negotiate lower than 15 million that we've got in the clause thing. We're not going to get him cheaper than... I don't think we're even going to sign him. So hopefully Alcaraz, just because I want to sign him. And David Moyes has been a bit of a weirdo with that. So Alcaraz and Njai. And then I'm going to go Delap for you, 2-1. Rich, on to you.
I'm not expecting much. Yeah, look, Delap's our main source. If you keep him quiet, I was going to go 2-1, but I don't want to go the same as you. So I'll go 2-0. 2-0 Everton.
2-0 Everton? I thought he was going Ipswich.
No chance.
I think it's going to be right. 2-0 Everton. Who's your goal scorers?
Beto. And what do you like from set pieces?
We can't cross. We're good at when you get it in the box. We've gone and got a Liverpool set piece bloody coach in Charlie Adam to bloody do set pieces. I think he's deliberately making us. Yeah,
he's your set piece coach.
And we hate him.
Supposedly.
Yeah.
I thought you might nick one from a corner. Brathwaite, there you go. I'll stick him in there.
There we go. That's his score prediction, people. 2-0, and there's his goal scorers. Paul, on to you. What have you got in your head?
I think it could be. Yeah, I think it could be a decent game of football actually tomorrow. So I think maybe we're a little bit more relaxed. They'll be a little bit more relaxed about it. So a bit of free flowing football. I would go. Oh, could we? I mean, can we? Could we? I'm gonna go 4-1.
4-1 for you.
Wow. I know.
That's big from Paul. He's normally a drawer.
I think they might even score first. To be honest, I think Delap's. It's like Delap's audition, if you like, for us. So he might well be. He might be well onto it tomorrow. If he does a decent job, he might even get applauded off like De Bruyne did the other week and piss off everybody else. So yeah, 4-1. I think I'd like to see McNeil come back in. Yeah, I think McNeil will get on the score sheet. I think Garner Gay will get on the score sheet. And then we'll have 2 from corners. So let's have a brace from O'Brien. Yeah,
bro, that's really random. If you get a bet on that, you will be living in a mansion. I'm telling you. Garner Gay and a brace from O'Brien. Prediction there from Paul. Massive. That's got to be your highest prediction the whole season.
I know it's very unlike me. Must have been the beer.
Gilmore must have had his Weetabix this morning. Right, what have we got in the comments, Pete? What have we got in the comments?
We've got tons, to be fair, and I'm just trying to gather them all. So,
why is looking through the comments, Pete? We don't say it enough, and you've got to promote your channel. If you can, please subscribe. We want to get to 7,000, and do make sure you like the stream, because the way YouTube works is it's an algorithm, and if a lot of people like it, it puts it higher up. More football fans will watch it, and the channel will do better. So support us in that way if you can, please. Let's have a look at these scores then, Paul. What have we got?
Yeah, just before we do, Lee was on and went James Garner right back. Bad looks of it. I know there's a few shouts for that. O'Brien, Branthwaite in the middle, Miko on the left, Garner Gay and Tim in the middle. It looks as though McNeil. I didn't have 3. I just don't see why we wouldn't do that. McNeil.
I really like that. I really like the reason I really like that is because you've got Alcaraz in, who I really want in. McNeil's good to get him in. Irabunum in the centre, he hasn't had much of a chance because Garner Gay's been good. So obviously, and then you're still playing Garner right back, who's quite technical. I like that. Good one.
You've got service. Do you know what I mean? These are the ones who'll serve you on a plate, where even anyone else can put it in. But I won't say Decore again. Thanks, boss. Yeah, it's a bit mad for me, to be fair. Right, let's get this tons of scores. So Matt, Ipswich fans gone 4-1 as well. Thank you very much. Good to have you in.
On, Matt.
Sean fancies Patterson, just needs more game time. 4-0 for us. 4-0 from Eltel. I don't like these big scores that everyone's doing. Rich, 2. I know it's making me nervous now. 2-1 Everton. Doyley 2-0. O'Brien McNeil. So similar to Rich. Pooter went 3-2. Lee went 2-1. 2-0 there. Danny went 2-0. Rod Ross's lad went 2-0. And I and Branthwaite. Sean 4. Emma 2. That's McNeil, by the way. And O'Brien.
Yeah.
Emojis. Beto hat-trick 3-1 with Delap on the score sheet. I mean, that'll be a good day. It's going to be good actually, whether if it is Beto and Delap, and see how they compare to each other. I'm quite excited now to see Delap and see if he does a decent job. Nick's very specific. It's 3-1, and Dye's going to score on the 20th minute. Schmitty on the 36th, DCL on the 75th. The lap in between there in the 52nd minute. Pause reckons there are going to be goals. So 5-3. I mean, why not? It could be another Blackpool classic. Wow. A brace for McNeil and Dye. Mikalenko always says Pickford on a penalty. Please. I would like him to be the last person to score at Goodison. That would be hilarious. Delap with 2 and Morsey as well. So Emma's gutted. She can't go tomorrow. There we go. Beto 3 and McNeil 1 for Eltel's 4-0. Keegan's in. He's gone 3-1. Beto and O'Brien. Pickford. I'm glad that's gathering speed now. Pickford on penalties. And the lap for Ipswich. Sean's goal scorers, Beto, Braceford McNeil, O'Brien again. The lap won't stand a chance against our centre-backs. Well, it's going to be a physical battle, I would say. It could be very interesting. Scar also 4-1. Big Beto with a brace. Garner Gay and McNeil. And... wow, hang on a second. Whoa. Hang on a second. So this doesn't normally happen. So it must be about to happen tomorrow. Eugene. What does Eugene always say? Well, what does Eugene always say?
Eugene always says 4-1, doesn't he? So
and a Beto hat-trick. Well, he's gone for the Beto hat-trick, but it's 6-0.
Oh.
I mean, there's Eugene's 2 other goals to go there, Eugene. So why not have Beto on 5 goals and then Decore on 1 instead?
On every game that Everton have played this season, Eugene's prediction has been 4-1. So we've always thought it's eventually going to come in that it's 4-1. But tonight, he must have started shaking on his keyboard as he did it. He's gone from 4-1 to this happens. You know what? You change your lottery numbers one time, your lottery numbers will come in.
That's it.
Eugene, it'll probably be 4-1 now. Yeah, it'll probably be 4-1. Now he's gone 6-0. But yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, that would be, Sky, you're right. If Keane got the last goal at Goodison, that would be, poetic, especially with them boots on.
No, just don't give me Michael Keane or his boots or anything. Just give me a Michael Keane has signed for a championship team at the end of the season. I've already got told for bullying him, and I wasn't even bullying him. But let's not.
I remember you were slating him last time when I was on, and then he went and scored against us.
Yes, he did. I read that
one in the top corner, didn't he?
Yeah.
When I went to message you, whether you'll come on the show, I seen that message when I went to message you, and I thought, oh my days. Yeah, I'm not saying anything anymore. No, I should do it deliberately, shouldn't I? I should be like, Beto is going to be shit tomorrow. He's not going to get a hat trick, and then boo, hat trick. I should do it.
You can have Keane. Do you want Michael Keane in a swap deal with Delap?
Is he that bad? Is that
Rich, go and watch back. Watch back to all of our shows.
Do you know what? Honestly, there's talk about he can play striker. If you put him in the Championship as a striker, I do think he'd get 25, 30 goals, and I'm not even joking. But he can't. He's just so clumsy in defence. He is. What do I call him, Paul? Chucky from Police Academy. What's his name?
Oh, Sweet Chuck.
Sweet Chuck from Police Academy when he walks in with a hot cup of tea and spills it over. So yeah, that's Michael Keane for me. That is pure Michael Keane. When he come on, he come on the pitch when Tarkowski got injured and we just conceded and lost straight away. Do you know what? He's a really nice guy. And some people say, "Oh, you're bullying him," or "You should not allowed to say that." But you're allowed to say the player isn't good enough for your football club. We love our football club a lot, and I think that's when you can start getting into trouble, when you protect players that ain't good enough for your team, because you can't be that sentimental. They've got to be good enough to play for your football club. Otherwise, you're never going to succeed. It's not freaking... No. Harden up, toughen up. Michael Keane is not good enough for Everton Football Club, in my opinion. Simple as that. I don't think he's good enough. And if you're going to side up for him, then you go and support the team that he goes to, because he's not going to stay at Everton. He's not. Giant.
Booter's right. Like he's like Decore in the fact that he scored some really important goals. You know, he set us on the way in the Palace game. He scored the equaliser, injury time against Spurs. You know, I know Dan's face is going like that now, but that's exactly what I've said about Decore, is that he's not good enough, but we've got to thank him for doing stuff like that.
Michael Keane is like a yawn and a piece of shit mixed up. Do you know where you yawn and it spreads? Like you can yawn and it makes someone else yawn. Michael Keane's like that, but a piece of shit. So he played shit and it spreads to the right back, the left back. And before you know it, he's on the pitch and everyone's turned into Michael Keane. He's spreaded the yawn. Obviously, shit. He spreaded that. So he's not good enough. He's a cracking bloke. He's got loads of money. So he'll be an happy man. I'm sure he can take a little bit of slate from me tonight. Paul, you just shouldn't have mentioned him, should you? Michael Keane, nightmares tonight. He won't play tomorrow anyway, so don't worry, people. Right, so is that all the score predictions? There was a lot of score predictions in them, weren't they? Thanks everyone for putting them in. It makes the shows worth it. We love you all coming on. Keep supporting us. Keep pushing us. I mean, StreamYard makes us pay £45 a bloody month now. It went from 25 to 45. So we do need to get a lot of subscribers and likes to even try and get frigging that back to pay for this channel. I swear, at the minute, like we make about £30 a month on the channel and pay 45 out. So it's crazy. So if you can support us, I'm not even bullshitting. We do need it. Do hit the like, do hit the subscribe, just to keep us going. Save me and Paul putting a $5 each just to make it up to 45. Everybody, that is the end of the show. We have had Rich on. Rich, one thing I will say is, please come back up because I've really enjoyed having you on twice this season. Yeah. Cracking guy. I'll keep in touch with you anyway. I've got you on X and a few things. Please come back up because we'd love to have you on again next season in the Premier League. Give yourself a plug.
Hopefully, we'll only be gone for a year. The Suffer Crunch on YouTube, if you're watching, go and hit the subscribe. Get over there. Follow us in the Championship for one season only, hopefully. And then I'll be back on here in a year's time. Be good.
You'll be my championship team. I'm going to put you on my hacker every week. You'll be my championship team next season. I'm telling you, got you to come up.
Well, I think we'll be in the mix. I'll be disappointed if we won't.
Top man. That is the end of the show, people. Thanks everyone for listening. Big game tomorrow. It always makes you excited, these pre-matches, especially when we get an opposition fan on. Cracking game. There's two games left at Goodison Park. Was that good crying? 2 games left. That's it at Goodison Park. The historical stadium, all those memories. Hopefully we do it justice tomorrow with all the stuff that we've got. Like the confetti, yellow, blue confetti, all bagged up, ready to go. It's going to be, and Rich going as well. So it's going to be immense. Everybody, that is it. Have a boss one. Good night. See you tomorrow on the match.